Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for those who don't know me, my name is Matseposioka and this is my YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, please do hit the like button and subscribe. Also switch on your notifications button so you can get notified every time I release a new video when I do. So sorry, I am in my gown. I'm from work, girl, just took a jog, so I thought this is the best time to record a video because I have been putting it off for so long, so there's no better time than now. Finally got my tripod as well, so I really have no excuses. So yes, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about two very pivotal moments or seasons or aspects of my life that I've gone through and I believe have kind of shaped the person that I am today. I know a lot of people might relate, or because they're currently going through it or they have gone through this before. So I grew up without my father. So he was just never around. Like, he was never around from the time I was born through growing up. I think I met him the first time when I was 11 years old. Yes, that's when I met him the first time, but since then it's like always been an on and off situation. So I believe that was one thing that really broke my heart. Like, if there's anything I can point out in my life that I can say shaped a lot of my experiences and how I reasoned with things, I'll definitely say it's that. So now that situation eventually led into me having serious mental health issues like depression. I developed or I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder, and then it got so bad that they diagnosed me with temporal lobe epilepsy at some point in the journey. So it was very hectic. But to just touch on the temporal lobe epilepsy, so basically what happened is that I think in 2014 I was in my matric year, and at that time I had not spoken to my dad or his family, and I remember speaking to someone from his family, and it was someone who at the time, I mean, I would have expected this person would, at least want to make means to ensure that I am part of the family, that my dad is around, hold him accountable. So I spoke to this person and they were cold. It was in April that day, I don't forget that day. They were so cold to me, and that broke my heart. Like, it broke my heart. I remember, I think 2 days after, I was rushed to the hospital. I think it just affected me so much that emotionally it just took me out. So that's really where it all started. If I can pinpoint to a time where my mental health issues started, it would definitely have to be that time. So I was in my matric year at the time, so I started getting very sick, in and out of hospital, but I managed to kind of push through that year and get admitted into the University of Cape Town. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that name. But yes, I was there because it had always been my dream. I had to go to UCT, so I made it. Yeah, but I thought like going away really far would kind of like be a way for me to just not have to deal with that part of my life. The fact that I've just had such an on and off with my dad all these years, or rather more offs than ons, and I didn't understand why I had to be in that kind of situation. I remember there's so many times where I cried. He was supposed to see me, he never came, and I cried so much. Anyway, my first year, I did not realize it. Everyone thinks like when you're going off to varsity, especially when you're going to a varsity by the beach, you think, wow, every day is gonna be great. And I think I went there with that expectation, and when I found myself feeling like I'm not fitting in, it just it hit me, and it hit me really hard. So at some point I realized that I had stopped like completely socializing with people. Like, I was at a point where all I did was go to the gym, go to class. That's the only time I think I really sat down with people, and there you're not even like interacting, you're more of hearing what the lecturer is saying. So I would go to class, or when I went to the dining hall, I would literally just fetch my food because I was staying in Reyes. I'd fetch my food and go back to my room. Like, that was my life. So without even realizing it, I was getting depressed. So I think the 9th month into that year, September, I started like getting sick. I would have these, I'm going to describe it to you guys for those who might actually have something similar. Initially they presented themselves like panic disorder, but it was more, it started to get a bit more severe. I'd have the pickup that I would convulse at some points, when I'm having an attack. So it was a bit more serious than your usual panic, attack where you just can't breathe. So it started happening regularly, and I think the last time my mom said we need to go, my mom, the doctor, they spoke and they're like, no, this environment is just not for you. You need to come back home. You need to come back, which was very, very hard for me, guys. It was the hardest thing I ever had to experience, because here was, something I'd worked so hard for. I was doing so well, and when I realized that all of that whole dream was about to be taken away from me just in that split second, like just like that, it was very tough. I remember we had packed up my bags, everything, we cleaned out my raised room, and when you're at the airport, it just hit me that wow, it's all finished. And I remember in that moment, I think my faith has always kind of carried me through the toughest seasons of my life, because I remember that moment I had said, God, if I have to go through this so that someone out there can, one day look at me and say, yeah, can rise up in strength because of what I'm going through, then I'll go through it. If it is going to reveal your glory in the end, then I will surely go through it, as painful as it is. And I knew that when I was making that declaration, or rather, I don't even think I knew how powerful that declaration was, because honestly, guys, I think in all the seasons that I've been in the storms that I've gone through, that is what has honestly, truly carried me till now. So anyway, we packed up my stuff, we left, and that was it. Like, just like that, my big dream of being a UCT grad was gone and done and finished. I was lucky enough to get admission into the University of Cape Town, Pretoria. So I went to UP the following year. I was a bit fine, and basically I think, just because it's literally similar with Cape Town. The first year I was actually fine. 2016 I was quite fine. 2017 I just, I went back into that process again, where the attacks started coming again. And the hardest thing about 2017 for me was the fact that at 20 years old, I was being admitted into a psychiatric hospital. At the time, for me, there was just so much stigma around mental health, and not even just mental health, I mean being admitted at a psychiatric hospital. Who do you tell? What do you tell people? Like, when people ask you, oh, I'm in hospital, where? I couldn't even say where. Like, for me, it was so hard to like realize or to come to terms with the fact that right now I'm sick and I'm not okay, and I'm in a psychiatric hospital. So that alone was tough, guys. It was so hard. It was extremely hard. Now, mind you, during this process, my dad is literally not there. Like, he doesn't come, he's never ever visited me in hospital. He's never contributed towards anything, because there were times when my medical aid would run out and would have to pay cash. There was a time where I couldn't even go home because the funds had expired and we had to take out cash, and there was no money, so they had to keep me, and keeping me there also means more money. So it was tough. My dad wasn't there through it all. So I think, it just kept building up. It just kept building up and building up and building up. And 2017, I remember in August, I had a major breakdown, because I managed to get past the beginning of the year, because I was admitted in Vista, I think in beginning of March. But I managed to, when I got discharged from hospital, I managed to really get back into school and catch up, 8 weeks of mid-school in about 2 weeks, I think, at the time. Wrote my exams, did really well. August, I had a breakdown again, and yeah, August was tough. So I remember my sick note was literally dated 31 December 2017, meaning I had to deregister again. This was hard because I've always loved education. I've always loved school. I've always seen myself graduating, not only graduating, but graduating on time, and really just going through life conventionally, graduating your undergrad, your postgrad, like just doing things the normal way that things are supposed to be done. Now when this reality hit me that, oh my gosh, it's not happening like that, and the people I started with are ahead of me, you know, and I was so definitely was very happy for my friends and the people I started with, that they were progressing, but it was so hard for me to, like, you know, see myself in the position that I was in. I didn't understand, and I just said, God, why, you know, why me, you know? So yeah, at the time, that was 2017, so they put me on treatment for the epilepsy, the temporal lobe epilepsy, and the depression, you know. So I went through the bit of 2017 with that. But now another problem is that the medication started to make me gain weight. I started to gain weight, which I hated. I absolutely hated, because now I was on a fitness journey, because between 2014 and 2015 I had lost about 43 kilograms. So now I'm trying to maintain my weight, and now the medication is just putting me off. So it was a lot a lot going on. But yeah, I made it through 2017. Yeah, so basically that's a bit of like how you know, my daddy issues, I don't want to say that, but daddy issues kind of led me into you know, developing serious mental health problems. But yeah, so basically, just jump back on my issues with, you know, my father being absent and stuff. That was one situation in my life which I can say was so hard for me. It was so hard to, you know, really go through that and shape myself and shape the woman that I'm becoming, you know, with that on my shoulders, because I went through life kind of not understanding why my dad didn't want me, why he rejected me before I was born, why he rejected me even when I was, you know, born, and as I was growing up, why he just could not love me. And I think people don't understand, or people usually think maybe it's the male children who need their fathers more than, you know, females. And honestly, girls need their dads too. I mean, your dad is the first man who's supposed to love you, who's going to validate you, affirm you, who's going to tell you you're beautiful, who's going to show you how a man is supposed to treat you. And when you don't kind of get that when you want it, or not even when you want it, the fact that you don't get it, it is so hard to go through life, because you kind of have this void that you're hoping, you know, without even realizing it, but you go through life having this void that you need to be filled, because initially when you're growing up it was just not there. So it was so hard for me, it's been so hard for me to kind of go through life, you know, thinking that, wow, I'm just rejected, and, you know, you kind of wear this victim jacket without realizing it. So but and recently, like, I think it because I've always, you know, thought, how can I forgive my dad? I can't forgive him, I can't forgive, I won't. But it was because I didn't understand what I have to let go of when I decide to forgive him. So I realized that with the situation with my dad, I was attaching so many things that had happened to me, some related, some not, to that. So the moment something happens, I'll bring it back to the fact that, oh, my dad left. It almost became like some sort of scapegoat, or some sort of, you know, way for me to just feel sorry for myself when things went wrong. So understanding what I've attached to to my daddy issues and what is hurting me in relation to that, kind of, or knowing what I have to let go of, is what has helped me to be in a position where I forgive him and I have peace in my heart. Because, you know, I realized that, okay, I had latched on it so much that, okay, you know what, I didn't finish school on time, I didn't, you know, do this and this, I could have been here and there had my dad still been around, had he been there when I was growing up, had he wanted to love me, you know. There were so many things I was attributing to that, and deciding to forgive him meant that I'm going to lose power or the ability to sit and cry and mope around the things that I lost, you know, i.e. not being able to graduate and not having this, not having that. So realizing that, okay, me saying I'm forgiving him means that I need to let go of all these other things, really truly is what helped me this time to truly forgive and to have peace in my heart over that situation and over, you know, over him not being around in my life. So yeah, I think that's just how I can put it in a way that makes sense. Like I said, okay, I'm blaming him for this and this and that. Me forgiving him means that I can no longer, I lose the power to cry about this and this. So I hope it does make sense, but do let me know in the comments below what you think about what I'm saying. If you have had a daddy issue experience and you've forgiven, or if you haven't forgiven, just share some of those in the comments, in the comment section below. So yeah, that's how I got through my issues with my dad. Like I had to really realize that I'm losing that, and the reason why I need to let go of that also helped me. So truly, I'm really in a better place. I'm in a good place of saying, you know what, I want to define myself not according to the rejection, the pain, the hurt, and all the things that I've gone through in relation to that, but rather I'm saying, God, I need you to define me. I need you to give me a strong conviction of who I am, show me who I am, tell me who I am, when I see it in your word, when I read it in your word, let me not just see it and think, okay, yes, but let me feel it, let me know it, and I was telling my psychologist that I truly believe that if I know, I have that strong conviction, then nothing, or things that happen are just gonna come, but nothing's really going to like shake me, because I am so sure in who I am, because I've received my identity from Christ, from God, So yeah, that's really my journey. I will be making more videos with other people who've had similar experiences in terms of the daddy issues and the mental health issues. So I will be bringing that more on the channel. Please do let me know what you think about this video. If you have any thoughts, any comments, let me know in the comment section below. I really would like to hear from you and just interact more. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. Thank you so much for liking and following me so far. So please do have a lovely day. Thank you. Bye.